Welcome to another episode of Weird Beard Fishing, y'all. Today I'm going to show you guys a really cool, super cheap, budget-friendly kayak motor mount. We're going to be mounting that trolling motor right there. It's a 30-pound Endura. I got it off Facebook Marketplace, 50 bucks. Thing's almost brand new, should do awesome. So here is what I have going on. Have a 10-foot section of pipe, 45s. So that way, when I go to put it in the rod holder, as you can see, the rod holder is coming out at a 45. I'm going to turn it to go straight up. Then I'm going to install a T on one side with a pipe coming off the other, and that's where I'm going to mount the motor over here. And then the other side is just going to be teed off, because we're actually going to make a section go from here to here, so that way that there's support between both rod holders, because this stuff is not exactly the most sturdy. So if you have a brace between both of them, it should definitely be able to support the 30 pounds of thrust that this thing makes. And believe it or not, with the pipe, all the fittings, I'm gonna have enough to make a mount also for this kayak, and which I bought this small trolling motor for Maggie off of Facebook. So for $38, you get 2 kayak trolling motor mounts. Let's get into it. I'm gonna show you guys how. All right, guys, so I went with a 1.25 inch pipe. Got a 10-foot section. I mean, this thing was like 12 bucks for the 15-foot section. I think the fittings cost more than anything. So this is gonna be a pretty tight fit. So when I put this down in there, as you see, it does not want to slide in. I have to actually push and turn. Get a nice, snug, tight fit. And boom, as you guys can see, that thing is locked in there. I wanted to get something tight enough to where I don't have to glue all of the PVC together. I'm just gonna simply put all the fittings together, the few things that I want to permanently stay together, I'm gonna screw together. But whenever I want to take this thing out, it's as simple as taking off the fittings and then unscrewing this little part right out of here. Boom. Then we're good. Now, as you can see, it's a pretty tight fit. That's exactly what I want. Okay. As you guys can see, I pushed this all the way in as far as it's gonna go. So I'm gonna measure up from one side, make a mark, cut it. Then I'm gonna do the same thing over there, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Boom, and that's what it's gonna look like. You got the 2 up there now. Then I'm just gonna simply slide on the 45s. And another thing you can do is you can put a screw in each of these if you wanna make them, you know, easily removable. Let me show you what else I'm gonna do next. Boom, cut 2 even pieces off the main stick. We're gonna put those in here. And in retrospect now, I probably should have went with more like a 22.5 degree instead of a 45, but I will have to make these do. So then after that, grab this, I'm gonna grab your T and your cross. So I want it to be on the right side, so I'm gonna put my T on that side, my cross on this side. Then you're gonna take a measurement and straighten that out. Measurement between the 2 and put a piece from here to here. And the cool thing is, boom, now you still got your rod holder. Still put a rod in here and you're all so good to go. All right, guys, as you can tell, it's a lot darker. I had to go to the store, and of course, nowhere had 22.5 degree 45s, or I mean, 22.5 degree fittings for 1.25 inch. It was all for 1.5 inch. I could order the 1.25 inch, but I want the stuff right now, right? I'm not waiting. So I made them. 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch reducers on both sides of the 22 degrees. So let's see if this looks any better. Oh, yeah. As you guys can see the angle difference, now this is going straight up. This is gonna be my pole holder. That over there is facing kind of forward. So that is the reason why I went and got these. Makes a difference. Then you just take your pipe, and you're gonna put it across here. So measure it, cut it, put it together. Then you're gonna have the pipe continue out the other side here, and that's what I'm gonna mount the board to that the trolling motor is gonna mount onto. Let me show you exactly what it's gonna look like. And this is the result you're gonna get of the rest of the pipes. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut a piece of wood, put it from here to here. I'm gonna put 3 screws up through here. It's gonna mount it to the top of the pipe. Then the transom mount of this sits right on top of here. You're good to go. Now obviously there are parts that you're definitely gonna have to glue. You're gonna have to glue this piece in. You don't have to glue that piece in. I would glue these into the fittings, these into the fittings, but then you're good from here down, just so pieces don't come up. And let me just show you guys something else real quick. And after everything's together, this is still a rod holder. Boom. Your rod sits a little higher, so you're not gonna be able to go underneath as many trees because you do have the extra length of that versus that. But boom. Another thing you can also do is you can take a T like this, so that way it's not facing straight up, and you can cut a couple of T's into here and then put a little extra pipe, just because if you put the butt of the rod directly into here, it doesn't go in very far. So put a little extra length of pipe, and then boom, you got some other extra rod holders. And here is the finished product. Boom. You still got rod holders, and obviously this is going to drop down. I just have it on the ground for right now, and actually, believe it or not, I don't have it glued yet, and this is actually just hanging here. So after I get all this glued up, it'll be super sturdy, and boom, I have a trolling motor on my kayak. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Redneck engineering at its best. Boom, boom, boom. And then if you had, like I said, the other T's here, you could have other rods back here, and then I'll have the milk crate with the battery right here. And I'm not gonna use this at a lot of places. I'm only gonna use this on like some of the bigger lakes and slash like the giant ponds that are out at AEP, and I wanna go really far, or days that it's super windy, I won't be limited. I'll be able to hold myself in position. And the cool thing is, like I said, that's gonna drop. My seat rises. There we go. So look, I'm gonna be sitting down. Right here, and this is gonna drop down to about even with this. So whenever I'm going, my trolling motor is gonna be right here, and every time it gets super windy and I have my paddle right here, then I can just hit the trolling motor in reverse or forward real quick. And I can also turn it to be able to turn the back end into the wind, out of the wind. This right here will be a game changer for the kayak. That's for dang sure. All right, guys, something else that I forgot to mention is that another thing that you can do is you can put screws all in the PVC to hold it all together. So that way, if you guys just want to remove pieces and parts, or for transportation or whatever, you can easily take everything apart. Literally only have to take apart like 3 screws on each side and take this right off the kayak, because I like to go to ponds also that I'm not using the trolling motor for. So it's nice to not have the cumbersome mount on there, and the pipe that I have sticking up and out of the rod holders are still big enough for the rods to go into. So that's also another little cool tidbit that makes it easily removable. And also I want to address that the weight of a trolling motor is definitely going to change how your kayak handles. So be aware of that if you do put a trolling motor on your kayak. So the first time you go out, just be aware that when you go to stand up, like for me with a stand-up kayak, it's going to change how everything leans, everything moves, and especially with the weight of a battery and the weight of the trolling motor. Just realize it, don't fall in the water. Just realize it's going to change the characteristics of your kayak. If you guys liked a little video like this, a little easy, quick tutorial video, leave a little comment below. Let me know how you guys liked it. If you want me to do some more, any suggestions, I'll go ahead and make a video on it. And until the next time, I'll catch you on the next episode of Weird Beard Fishing.